Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Avantika and I mostly do card readings, intuitive readings I should say, because it's not always just card readings, it's very much intuition based and what I feel like sharing combined with my experiences. And my aim is through this channel to guide you through any challenges that you might be facing, and you may feel like, okay, I don't have anyone to connect with. And if you intuitively find my channel, then we are somehow linked or are on like a similar path, and this is what I'm guiding through. So I have some cards with me. I do want to share, there's some brand new changes coming into my life. So it may very well be that in your life soon something quite exciting might be coming. I think last couple of readings showed that as well, if you have been following me. But let's see what the energy is like for the next week and what can we expect. And yeah, obviously with the spring coming up as well, it's going to be time where you're going to be sharing more of yourself with the world. Yeah, sharing more and more of yourself with the world. So let's see here. Hanged Man. Yep, there was a delay, but I have a feeling this is the end of that delay. Some of you have been waiting for something to take off, whether that's your business, whether that's a new job to come in, whether that is something that you've been actually working on quite diligently, but you're just like, when is it going to work? When is it going to come? It's the end of that delay phase that is coming, and something has been delayed, and it's actually got you in such turmoil and such anxiety at times, and really like feeling, what do I do? Like, why isn't it lifting off when I have done all the work, when I have done and taken all the steps to create something, and yet it hasn't taken off? Why hasn't it taken off? What am I missing? So, what are you missing? Let's have a look. Inspiration. So what inspiration? Someone may evoke that inspiration in you. So I will tell you how this happened for me. I was feeling quite anxious because I'm going through a bit of a move to a different country. Yet again, we're back to England from Germany. And I felt like this move was just, it's actually the right decision that I made. But with any decision that you make, there will be a grieving process, whether that's a relationship, new job, you will still, part of you still would be kind of thinking, am I making the right decision? And this, for me now, I know it's absolutely a right decision. And I often know it now more so than ever before, because I trust my intuition so highly and so deeply, and that's taken practice. And it only takes practice where I don't go back and forth anymore, and the decision making process is becoming like much easier and more efficient and quicker for me. This is why I highly recommend that if you make a pros and cons list in making a decision, also go deep within your intuition and ask your intuition, or whether that intuition is linked for you to like the universe, source, whatever that is. You need to ask that part of your belief system in order to be in alignment with your decision, whatever you're taking. So let's go back to it. You need some sort of inspiration. So the way I got my inspiration was that like I was saying, I'm going through this move, and there were certain themes that were coming up, and I was feeling like I can't find a solution. I was like hiding myself, and I was like, why isn't my certain aspects of my business taking off? And so I went to see Sarah, who is my you can say a healer, energy healer perhaps, and also an amazing coach. And I was talking to her, because you need to find someone who you can share your deepest parts with. And when I was talking to her, she was like, I haven't ever heard you tell me this story before, and I've known Sarah for quite a few months, because I was seeing her on a regular basis, and I realized, yeah, actually, I don't think I've told anyone this story, which is the story of how I actually came to be in Germany, and how it stems from a very childhood beautiful dream that I've been following since that age. It's just, I just never thought it was worth sharing. So this is really an ask that if you have a story, share it with someone who you trust, because they can then guide you to write that story or to share that story more so, because you don't know who you may be helping and connecting with and where that path may lead you. So that's the message I'm getting. It's time to get inspiration, whether that's through meeting someone or sharing it with someone who you really trust. Share it with someone who you really trust, and they can really, and someone who's perhaps very non-judgmental. Often that's a coach, a healer. I've been saying this in the last couple of readings, that some of you need to see a healer or a coach or a trusted, you can obviously talk to a trusted friend. They just might not have the space and capacity. Everyone's dealing with their own stuff. So they just might not have time and space for you to hold in depth, so that you can actually go through this process and find out like how to share your story, what steps to take, what can you do next, because your story matters. Because your story matters. It completely matters. And I didn't even realize that my story mattered until I spoke to my coach, and why I need to share it, and why I need to talk about it more and more, which I will do so in another video. The world. Travel card. Some of you may be traveling. This is also an indication that once you're speaking your voice, the opportunities and the things that are going to open up for you. For some of you, this will literally be traveling the world. Like by sharing your story, you don't know where it might lead you. It may lead you to a different place where you've never visited before. You might be speaking there. You might be talking to different people there. You need to talk about your story. Something needs to be shared. Queen of Wands. It needs to be shared because it's aligned to your very deepest passions. Like, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful childhood dream, especially if you have, or something you have gone through, which is just so deeply enlightening, and so like it's going to help other people. And it's also something that just you feel so deeply passionate about. And if you can't figure that out, one or two ways that you can try and figure that out is to really have a week or two just more to yourself, and seeing what you have been having like thoughts about lately. What did you used to do in childhood, and what were you really interested in, and does it align with something you have been through, something you want to share? You can start by sharing just simply getting used to the process of sharing a story of your life until you reach the core story that you haven't shared. What I mean by that is maybe showing up more and more on Instagram or social media, or even starting your YouTube so that your voice can be heard. Often people on this channel are going to be people who are either highly sensitive, empaths, modest people who are very humble, awesome quality, but we tend to be very bad at advocating for ourselves. We are great listeners. We are great at upping people up, like, you know, making them feel special, heard, seen, recognized. Often we are not always as good in doing that for ourselves. It's time to do that for yourself. It's time to big yourself up. You have this passion and fire within you which needs to be shared with the world. And yeah, some of you have no idea what beautiful stories you are carrying within your hearts, and it needs to be shared. Your story matters, and it needs to be heard. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is often a card of like success, great success as well. Yeah, this is a card of like just someone who, if you share it, you tell people more about it, like the happiness on the face of this person, you'll just be very joyful, and it may even like take you to certain monetary solutions, and it may be a way of getting certain income or money, because maybe for some of you this will be writing a book about your experience, because that needs to be shared. Don't let the fact that so many other people are doing that already, so many people have podcasts, YouTube, all of this, don't let that stop you, because you don't know who might connect to you more than anyone else. And when I think about how many podcasts I listen to from different people and at different stages of my life, it's never been one constant. It's never been just one person that I have listened to all the time. It's always been very different podcasters or YouTubers, or just things that I have listened to at different stages of my life and how they were relevant at those stages. So for some of you, you need to share, because you might be inspiring someone, or you might be guiding someone to take certain steps, and your story matters. And there is, and especially if there's money linked to it, why not? You've got to do it, even though it's not necessarily for the money, but it's just often when you're doing things which you're just like really, really purely happy about, then it will come naturally. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 cards. Let's get maybe 2 more. What else do we need to know? All right, some of you have been having certain anxiety about a certain situation. Even like difficulty in sleeping. Often this card also means like you feel like you are losing hope. You've lost hope in some way. And it's very isolating. Say, I'm firstly so sorry that someone is going through that. This isolating feeling is temporary, definitely temporary. And how do we get out of it? It's exactly the things that I have mentioned previously. What is lighting you up? What may light you up? If that feels too difficult, too big of a question, then I would start by thinking, okay, can I go to like a group or somewhere where I can, start just, I don't know whether it's linked to like a hobby or somewhere, just to have a change of scenery. And this is on a light level. If it's much deeper, please go see a therapist or a healer, coach. But if it's much, much deeper, then you need a medical therapist. But some of you will need to see someone who is going to unblock that part of you who is wanting to come out, wanting to show up in the world, be seen, be heard, be recognized. And certain situation is blocking that in you, whether that's shame, judgment, or just fear of certain fear that is coming up. So that needs to be looked at. 6 of Pentacles, equal give and take. The moment you unblock this, you will get back what you are putting out. So this will be an equal give and take. What that means is that once you unblock it, once you start sharing your gifts, sharing your strengths with people, something that you're naturally good at, once you start discovering those, you will get a return on those. Once you start putting yourself out there, once you start taking those risks in order to go to the next steps, you will get a return on those. It will not be just by return, I mean, it could be monetary, of course, but it may well be your deepest happiness. I often do the things that I have done so far, which have been purely heart-led. Sometimes I didn't know why I was doing them, but I just felt like I was enjoying them so much that it's only now I see that actually they have helped me in my path thus far. And that's what it is for you too. That for some of you, you will need to take those steps to get to a certain level so that you can feel like, all right, now that I look back at my path, these things make sense. Before it didn't make sense, but now it does. Why I was led to doing painting class or whatever. I mean, in my case, I'm a scientific researcher who was working on engineering project in 3D printing of metals. And in the evenings, I would record tarot readings on YouTube. Couldn't be further apart. These things couldn't be further apart. Some of you might be musicians and working in the day on something else. And also, I was working part-time as a healer, as a Reiki practitioner. So yeah, they couldn't be further apart, but I just had fulfillment for them. Sometimes I felt like I would just do the tarot and Reiki. Like if I had all the money in the world, I would just do it for free, because it's just so very enjoyable for me. Maybe it's not forever, but for the time being, it's helping you into the next stage of your life, and it's worth taking that step. All right. I think that was a great reading, and I'm going to end it there because we got all the messages there. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Remember to share your voice and share your experience. And yeah, it's time. It's time to do so. Right. And if you need help in stepping through that fear, how you do it, how do you put yourself out there, reach out to me, DM me, email me, you have all the details. Reach out to me and I can help you and guide you in doing so. How can we step through that fear? All right, I hope you have a nice week, and I'll see you in the next one.